it's Mr. Mason, and we're back again with another lesson from our Bibles. If you remember from the past couple weeks, we've been talking about the miracles that Jesus performed during his ministry on earth. We talked about how he fed 5,000 people and how he calmed a storm in the middle of a huge, deadly storm. This week, we're going to talk about another miracle that he did, and it's actually right after he fed all those people with just the little amount of food. So at first, he came over the sea, and that's when he calmed the storm. And then they fed the 5,000 or more people. And then the disciples made their way back to the other side of the sea. And Jesus went to a mountain to pray that night. So while the disciples are going on the sea, that's where our story begins. So let's go ahead and dive in. Jesus had been teaching crowds of people by the Sea of Galilee. It was getting late, so he told his disciples to get into the boat and go to the other side of the sea. Jesus sent the crowds away and went up on the mountain to pray by himself. That evening, when the boat was far from the shore, the wind blew and the waves tossed the boat around. Jesus was still on the mountain alone, though. This was another storm, but going back across the sea. They had just done with like a really, really scary storm just like a couple days before, and now they got to deal with another one. Now this one's not that scary to them. They're just, the wind's blowing so much and the waves are so big that they can't get across. It's just pushing them back the whole way and they can't move forward. And so they're kind of stuck in the middle of the ocean or middle of the sea at this point. Around 3 a.m, Jesus came towards his disciples walking on the sea. Walking on the sea. When the disciples saw Jesus, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said. Right away, Jesus spoke to them and said, "Have courage, do not be afraid, it's just me." So Peter answered, "Lord, if it's really you tell me to come on the water with you." So Jesus said, come on the water. You can walk just the same as me." Peter got out of the boat and started walking on the water, just step by step, on top of the water. I've tried this before. It doesn't work, I promise. I've done it with floaties. I've done it with inner tubes. I've done it with pool noodles. It doesn't work the same way it does here. He's not using anything. This is just Jesus' power through Peter walking on the water. Peter got out of the boat and started walking on the water toward Jesus. But when Peter saw how strongly the wind was blowing, he was afraid. He started walking on the water and he kind of forgot about the whole storm. He was thinking, "Whoa, I'm walking on water. This is impossible. This is crazy." So he's walking towards Jesus, and then all of a sudden he gets a big gust of wind behind him and he's just like, "Whoa, there's a storm going on. I forgot." And then as soon as he remembers, he gets scared and thinks, "What if I get hurt? What if I drown and fall into the water and get seriously hurt? I could get seriously hurt in this big storm." And so he gets scared and he forgets that he's walking on the water, and he forgets that Jesus is helping him walk on the water. And so he starts to fall and he starts to drown. And immediately he says, "Lord, save me." And Jesus walks over and Jesus reached out his hand and grabbed Peter and said, "You have little faith. Why did you doubt me?" They got into the boat and the wind stopped, and everyone in the boat worshiped Jesus and said, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Jesus showed his power over nature, over physics, over real life stuff, and over anything through this story. He walked on water, so much so that they thought he was a ghost, because nobody can walk on water, right? Except for Jesus and Peter for a little bit, just because he believed that Jesus was there and he was the Lord. That's why he was able to walk on the water, is because Jesus allowed him to. So Jesus shows that he is God and he is the Son of God through this unbelievable power. And we need to remember that as we go about our lives, that he saved Peter and he saved all of the people in the boat from getting stuck in the middle of the water for a long time. And he allowed Peter to walk on the water through his power. And even so, he can help us do other things in our lives, much simpler things than walk on water, through his power. If he can help somebody walk on top of the water, he can definitely help us out in much easier things. Now let's go over our big picture question and our memory verse for this week. Our big picture question is, why did Jesus perform miracles? Jesus performed miracles to glorify God, to show he's the Son of God, and to care for people. Now this one definitely shows he is the Son of God, because right after he got in the boat, all the disciples immediately said, "Truly, you are the Son of God." He didn't ask them to say that. They just said it because they knew that he was the Son of God after seeing him walk on water. So it definitely shows that Jesus is the Son of God. And it also it glorifies God. It shows how majestic and how powerful he is, and how he can have control over anything that he really needs to. And our memory verse for this week is Psalm 40, verse 5. "Lord my God, you have done many things. Your wondrous works and plans for us. None can compare with you. If I were to report and speak of them, they are more than can be told." There are so many things that Jesus did in the Bible, and even today, that we can't even count. So many things that he's done for us and done for other people, and shown that he is the Son of God, and so many miracles showing that he is glorifying God, and that he is trying to help us more than we can ever count, more than we can ever speak of. So we need to remember that these things happen every day, so much so that we can't even remember all of them. Sometimes they're just teeny tiny things that we don't even realize he had a hand in, and sometimes they're big things where he is very evident, and it's definitely obvious that the Lord had his hand in this. So let's go ahead and pray, and let's remember that Jesus still performs miracles today. Maybe they're through other people like doctors or teachers or parents or things like that, or maybe it's through us. The miracles can happen in ways that we never imagined, and they could be smaller than things that we think of, and they could be bigger things than we can ever dream of. So let's go ahead and pray, and let's remember that Jesus is still with us, performing miracles every day. God, thank you for this beautiful day you've given us, and thank you for this beautiful weather and allowing us to have a good summer and enjoy time with our friends and family and everything, having a great summer. And I pray that we will remember that you are here today with us, and you perform miracles in our lives, even when we don't know what the miracles look like or what they mean to us or anything like that. Help us to know that you are here and you are taking care of us, Lord. In your name I pray. Amen. Thanks, kids, and we'll see you next time.